Funny Bang Bang Show. Scott Aukerman is here live.
And pickup artist Jordan Harbinger will also be here to teach us how to be charming.
That was very charming.
I think it's Harbinger.
Well, I think when...
Yeah. I realized it as I was saying it.
And when I didn't add the S to IFC, then you were like, Michael, you screwed up.
So I'm trying to be nice to you. Yeah.
Which is nice.
And, so take one for the team together.
Oh man, it's been a fun couple days and week. Yes, it has.
It's been a really interesting week here.
And no better way for me to celebrate last night than to go home and go straight to bed. But what?
That's boring.
I was tired.
You went home and went to bed?
I get tired after all this.
Yeah.
You guys stress me out a little bit sometimes. Yeah.
What did you do?
Last
night went to drag queen bingo.
What?
At Hamburger Mary's. It was really fun. Went in a really big group.
Everyone's drag? You're in drag?
No,
what?
There are a bunch of people there in drag.
Okay.
But the drag queen is up at the front reading off the different B-I-N-G-O, whatever you call them.
I would call them
the
bingo numbers? Yeah. Numbers?
Are we doing a show right now? Are we live? So, yeah, that happened. But I'm horrible at bingo.
You do not
never win bingo. I never win.
But you always win that claw game with the stuffed animals.
I'm awesome at the claw. I'm horrible at bingo. We were even in a really big group, and none of us won.
And
you're depressing.
Right.
We were called the Rock Stars, though.
Oh, okay.
That's our nickname.
Candace is a rock star. I've always said that about you, Candace.
No, thank you. You're very sweet.
Yeah.
Time now to run down the top things on the web.
We're going around the net. Around the net. Around the net.
First up, some sports.
Yo. Wow. Shouldn't the white kid with the Jew fro be the one who got pushed?
Yes.
Finally, some footage of Bill Laimbeer playing basketball.
What?
To understand that joke, Google sports.
Oh, yeah. Not many of us here know anything about that.
I guess not. I like sports.
I know you do. Good
Sports
for
is
you.
is an activity that usually has a score and then you use a ball.
You know what? Alabama's doing really good in sports.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Next up.
There we go.
That's about the extent of what I know. A day in the life of a cat with extremely appropriate accompaniment by the music makers of Prodigy.
What crazy animals do you put a GoPro on in the South, Candace? Possums, gators, grandpas?
Grandpa. We always have to put a GoPro on Grandpa to find out what he's been up to.
And you just see him.
Just disappears.
You just see him pulling up his pants the whole time. Do you have any like crazy animal? Because in the South, I always feel like there's crazy animal people in the South more so. Do you have crazy animal stories?
Of course, in the South.
Yeah.
I don't have any crazy animal stories. I mean, we had a ferret that we took to church.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Is that weird? Is that weird?
When I ask you if you have crazy animal stories, you say yes.
We did. I guess that is a little weird. We had this ferret named Bear, and my mom wanted to bring it to church, so we brought it to church a couple of times.
And it just sat. Would it stand and sit and kneel and all that, or?
I just cuddled up with us.
Just cuddled up.
Yeah, it was fun. It made church really fun.
I would be more religious if my mom brought a ferret to church.
Everybody looked at us like we were weirdos, which we clearly are, because nobody brings a ferret to church.
Well.
So there. Like I was saying, some weird stuff happens inside churches sometimes, but I have never seen something like this before.
What's happening right now?
Right now.
A hand. Is it burning or just a hand?
Just feel it.
You think it's Jesus?
Yeah.
finish it, Lord.
Okay, in case it wasn't clear, that woman just had an orgasm. In church. On television.
You know, I hope the Pope's first tweet is a link to this video. Your move, Benedict. It's always a good sign when your spiritual leader looks a lot like a bouncer at Jumbo's Clown Room.
He did.
Now, remember, ladies, vibrators are expensive, but Jesus is free. There we go.
Have you been constipated lately?
Yes, I have.
I knew it. Well, this Russian trucking video should get things moving.
All right. Before I craft a response to this video, let me scrape the crap out of my pants.
Yet. In Los Angeles, traffic is killer. In Russia, traffic kills you.
Yeah!
It was so bad.
I will try mine as well.
Yes.
Literally, this video is best case scenario.
Oh, you're good. That was a really good one.
And now we move on to last video.
Finally, a video to get you in the Christmas spirit. Here's one man's very special sing-along to Pogue's Christmas classic, Fairy Tale of New York.
Нет! Dad? How'd you end up on the internet, Pa?
Wait a minute. That's your dad, too?
Whoa. Does this mean we're siblings? We're siblings. We're siblings.
We're siblings. That's so
and
weird.
It's weird that we've done that stuff now.
And that is all the net we have to go around.
Still ahead, NASA once again reminds you the end of the world is not going to happen.
And scientists are teaching robots to lie.
What?
Because scientists are idiots. It all happens right after this.
Yeah, the Russian accent.
Attack of the Show is coming to an end, and we need your help. Do you have a favorite AOTS blooper, comedy bit, or segment that you want to see one last time before we pull the plug? Well, now is your chance to speak up. Send us an email with your name and tell us what you want to see in the final episode of Attack of the Show. Email us at mayorofg4@g4tv.com.
Hey, want to learn some stuff? Sure you do. A few years ago, NASA opened an Ask an Astrobiologist page on their website. It's like Yahoo Answers for people that are smart enough not to use Yahoo Answers. Long story short, it seems that most of the time these days, the eggheads at NASA are sifting through questions about the end of the world. Most of the blame for this rests with the Mayans, whose stupid calendar runs out December 21st. Good Lord, the Mayans make crappy products. So when the big brains aren't debunking Mayan ruin, they're answering questions about Nibiru, the rogue planet that's supposed to slam into Earth soonish. NASA points out that if our planet was really about to have a cosmic rear ending, that Nibiru would have been the brightest thing in the sky for at least the last 4 years. I, for one, am grateful for the rogue planet doomsday scenario, because without it, we never would have had Von Trier's Melancholia, a genuinely unwatchable movie about Earth's collision with a mysterious planet. Right there, that's the only heavenly body I saw in Melancholia, and once I saw it a lot. On pause, in slow-mo, backwards and forwards. Trust me, check your local listings. Basically, what I'm saying is, go easy on the NASA guys. They're receiving our sometimes suicidal, always crazy notes about how we think the world will end, and it's all nonsense. Besides, these scientists have better things to do. Oh, that's right, they don't, because our space program's in the toilet. Literally, they're shooting rockets into toilets. Let's keep this science talk going. Next up, robots. They truly are remarkable, aren't they? Yeah. They're precise, efficient, and relentless. Whatever the task a robot has been programmed to carry out, it does so quickly and perfectly, unhindered by factors like emotion, fatigue, distraction, and all the countless other flaws of humanity. If you think about it, robots are superior to people in almost every single way. The one advantage that humans have is that robots are slaves to the programming we give them. It makes them predictable, and predictability is the only thing that will keep us one step ahead of them when they inevitably rise up against us. And that's why the stupid idiots over at Georgia Tech are going to doom us all. Instead of keeping robots nice and predictable, they are programming them to lie. It's complicated, but basically, it will work like this. Military-grade robots will be sent out to patrol areas where our soldiers are known to have caches of hidden weapons and supplies. But in order to confuse spies who might be monitoring these patrols, the robots will also randomly pick a few fake locations, essentially pretending to guard a weapons cache that isn't there. Sure, I know that robots using deception and trickery to keep the enemy from stealing our weapons sounds okay on the surface, but it's a slippery slope. They might start out as little robot white lies, but it's just a matter of time before robots are saying some stuff like, "No, that isn't the sound of the world's nuclear weapons being launched simultaneously." Or, "Number 5, not alive and definitely didn't poison the water supply." Or, "I won't be back," and then he totally comes back. You get me, scientists? Stop teaching robots to lie and maybe instead focus on an even more impressive robotic feat, getting them to walk upstairs. Oh, no! Leave it there, I can do it. No. I couldn't walk up simultaneous doors. And finally, did you ever wonder what would happen if a Nobel Prize-winning physicist teamed up with the creator of Big Brother? If you answered, if you answered yes to that question, you're in luck, and you're probably really stoned. The Mars One organization, a Dutch company backed by Big Brother co-creator Paul Romer and Nobel Prize-winning physicist Gerard T. Hooft. That's how we think you say it anyway. Has revealed its plan to land 4 astronauts in Mars in 2023, with 4 additional crew arriving every 2 years. The trip to a planned colony would be one way. The astronaut volunteers will live and die on Mars. Whoa. Wait, a one-way trip to Mars for 4 people? How do I nominate the Black Eyed Peas? As crazy as this mission sounds, Mars One has already received over 1,000 emails from volunteers. Mars One aims to finance the mission to the Red Planet via donations from corporations, people, and by creating a reality show-style media event around the training and selection of its astronauts, which I'm assuming wasn't a suggestion made by the Nobel Prize-winning physicist. But why go through all this trouble just for a reality show about Mars? We already know what it's going to be like.
Hey, has anyone seen my astronaut ice cream?
No.
I just had it ordered from Earth, you guys. I was saving it for a special occasion.
Look, I ate it, okay? You should have put a note on it.
I told everyone about it.
I didn't fly 140 million miles from Earth on a space shuttle to make friends.
Okay, stop. Stop it. Everyone, just stop it. I can't take it anymore. I just need some space.
It's good to know that in the future, space looks like 1990. Still ahead, we learn how to play it fast and loose with the ladies. Charm expert Jordan Herbinger will be here live. Stick around.
All season long, get your dose of holiday cheer with me and Sarah Underwood as we deck the halls with more special guest hosts like Paul Scheer, Damian Fahey, and Alex Albrecht. It's Attack of the Show every weeknight at 7, 6 Central, right here on G4.
Are you feeling a little lonely lately? Well, this guy might have the solution. Joining me now, the co-host of Pickup Podcast and co-creator of The Art of Charm, it's Jordan Harbinger. Okay, The Art of Charm. We get a lot of readers asking us, how do I pick up women?
Right.
Tell us how do we even start with this? How do you start to answer that question?
At The Art of Charm, it really goes all the way back to basics. A lot of guys think, I need some line that I read on the internet, but really, there's probably women where you are.
Yep.
You're gonna have to learn how to make new friends all over the place, but really it goes back to body language, the way you sit, stand, walk, and talk. So the first thing we do is bring guys in and give them a little bit of a makeover when it comes to the way that they behave.
It matters how you sit?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys, exactly.
Like this?
Exactly.
You're telling me dudes sit like this and try to pick up chicks?
There's tons of guys that do stuff like that, or they'll be sitting around and they'll scrunch up really tiny.
Tight.
And it just looks really awkward and terrible.
So how should you sit? Should you kind of be like...
that might work for you. I feel like you could rock that.
I could rock that.
I think you could rock that.
I've been doing that with Candace and Sarah, and so far, nothing. Oh my God. Okay, so how they sit, and you're telling me that on the internet, if I just Google it, a line that's going to work, am I going to get success? No.
No, because it all comes down to the delivery, right? Like the best line that you could possibly look up is going to fall flat if you deliver it looking like a schmo.
Right.
And if you have some terrible, awful line, like you can rock I like salad, but if you're a confident dude, it doesn't matter. They're just going to laugh and think it's funny, and you're going to continue the conversation.
I think it's funny to think that right now there's someone watching who's thinking, damn, my I like salad line isn't going to work.
Right. Why? Right. And now we've debunked that myth.
We've debunked that myth. Is it true that some guys got it and some guys don't?
Some guys are born in an environment where they might develop charisma naturally.
Okay.
A lot of guys who have a lot of older siblings that help them learn how to be social with people, get mature faster, stuff like that. You were an athlete, so you probably were around a lot of dudes who just were acting like themselves, and that allowed you to be authentic, and you have stage time as a comedian and everything that you're doing here. So yeah, there's some guys that have an advantage when it comes to that, but at the end of the day, it's a learned skill for everyone. Whether you learn it when you're 10 or 15 or 35, that's the only question.
What kind of banter can you learn? I mean, I think the thing that I'm challenged with is you can actually learn this. Like, is there banter or conversation that I can learn to be better at this?
Absolutely. I mean, you're a comic, right? So you've gone to improv classes. You've worked on that skill set. So you didn't start off probably being as hilarious as you are now.
I mean,
there were shades of improvement. There's been shades of it. I've seen some YouTube, so we can prove that.
So apparently, damn, you did some Googling. Okay, but like, what's an example of someone who maybe comes in and works with you, and an example of their improvement, if you have an example? Or
the one client that came in a couple of years back, he just wrote a testimonial for us. He actually lost 100 pounds after his program. 100 pounds. That's no joke.
That's a ton of weight.
He quit a job that he didn't like, started, I see what you did there. Started his own business. Now he travels around the world consulting in like Spain and Ukraine, works a few hours a day, makes 5 times as much as he used to make.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
But that's money. You're not talking about banging chicks.
Of course. Well, yeah, of course. It doesn't really come down to sleeping with as many girls as possible, right? This is all about confidence.
Okay.
So whether or not you use the confidence you get through the Art of Charm program to get more women, or you use it to get the confidence to start your own business, quit a job you don't like, improve the relationships with your family or friends, or anything like that, it's up to you. The sky's the limit once you have confidence, and I think you must realize that.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't realize it as much. That's why you're here to talk about it, Jordan. You must get this a lot. I even get this from my friends a lot. Hey, Costa, I'm in the friend zone.
Yeah.
Get me out of it. Mayday, mayday, SOS, friend zone. How do you stay out of the friend zone?
Well, the trick with being in the friend zone is not to get stuck there in the first place, right? So a lot, you agree with that, right? Because a lot of guys, they're like, what I'm gonna do is be super nice and then act like her best friend and then make the move one day. And the problem is when you make that move, she's like, what the heck is going on right now?
Right.
What happened? And then you're out the friend too, and you look like an idiot.
Can you get out of the friend zone if you screwed up in the first place and got in the friend zone, or is it like the Bermuda Triangle that once you're in, you are dead?
It's like sand trap type deal, right? You're sinking. It's tough because there's no sexual tension there. That's why you're in the friend zone. She sees you as a friend. It's going to take a lot for her to see you any other way. Right. And so the way that you can start to develop that sexual tension is through banter and flirting, and whether or not you're doing that with other people as well in front of her and things like that, that's a way out. The trick is kind of a Zen thing, right? Like the more you try to get out of the friend zone with her, the more you're just going to look like a schlep when you do it over and over and over. The second you go, you know what, this is a lost cause, we're friends, that's cool, and move on from it, and then you start flirting with other girls and you're getting other people interested in you, that's when she goes, what happened to Costa?
That hot girl is liking him now. I want to go get that.
Yeah, or just, he changed a lot, and when did that happen?
Okay, nice. Right? I'm a speech communication major from the University of Illinois, and the first and only thing I learned of 4 years is that 80% of a message is communicated through nonverbal communication.
Exactly.
Right? That's the only thing I remember after 4 years and $120,000 of tuition.
It's gotten you this far.
It's got me this far, yeah.
So, well spent.
It's got me hosting a canceled TV show.
Sad trombone.
Body language.
Right.
What's like one piece of advice you tell people out there for when they're talking to women, they should improve on their body language?
A lot of guys will do this psychological space invasion, right? So body language, we call it positive body language. Well, they'll be talking to a girl, and since it's allowed in the bar where they're at, they'll just up and face, like they'll just be right here, and it's so awkward, and the girl's like, whoa, right? So we tell them one quick tip is just to turn to the side. So rather than facing someone head on, you turn to the side a little bit, not totally disinterested, of course, but you're talking and they don't feel like you're just right in their face. You don't pull the Seinfeld close talker type stuff,
That's right? Where should we go to meet women?
There's probably women wherever you are already, but honestly, if you want to expand your horizons a little bit, make a list of 3 to 5 things that you want to learn, skills that you really want to learn. So cooking, yoga.
Harmonica, cooking, I want to run a marathon.
Okay, I thought you were going to say something else.
No. What do you think I was going to say?
You know,
okay, fine. So there's a list of 3 things. Yeah.
So make a list of those 3 things. Go out and join a group that does that. So like a running club, a cooking class. Forget the other thing.
Forget harmonica playing. Yeah, those guys aren't going to pick up any shit.
No, there's no girls in harmonica class. And you'll meet a bunch of women that way. You'll have a common interest, and you'll be spending time with them that's not spent going like drooling over them or buying them drinks or chasing them in some other awkward fashion.
I really appreciate taking all this to heart. I know it wasn't just for me, but it's for a lot of our viewers. Let's say thanks to Jordan Harbinger from the Art of Charm. And now I'll watch anything with the word mountain in it. Mountain survival, mountain people, and especially mountain biking.
Now, I like taking my bike out and riding some rough trails every now and then. But if you have a death wish and you just like pure adrenaline running through your body, you're in the right place. The Red Bull Rampage.
Red Bull has collected the best free-riding mountain bikers on the planet and is turning them loose on the insane terrain in southern Utah's backcountry, where if you can survive the course with your bones intact, post a fast time and impress the judges, you'll go home with a trophy and some cash.
I feel like I'm in God's country out here. Red Bull has put this event smack dab in this awesome 4-mile off any beaten path area. Now, the riders and Red Bull designed the course, and it is not an easy course. If you're coming here, you're a dedicated fan, because even the fans have to make the 4-mile trek in too. And I can see why. This event is sick. What's the preparation that's got to go in for these athletes to train to kind of get into the mindset to do this?
Well, there's a lot of guys that take time and come out here and camp and build their lines and ride some of the old sites and the shuttle runs around here to really get your time on the dirt. And then there's other guys that stay away and might ride an airbag and practice a certain trick. And so it's all over the place. But these guys really, it's all about mental preparation. It's gnarly just to look at.
It's like God's playground out here.
And we're the devils.
So you think you're fearless? Yeah, when's the last time you said, sure, I'm gonna take my bike and clear a 45-foot gap? Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. That's insane. Garth, what am I looking at?
This is the Specialized S-Works Demo 8, and this is a bike that's definitely geared for riding light like this with the extreme conditions and steep slopes. This bike is equipped with a lot more suspension than your normal bike would have. You have like 8 inches of travel up front here, as well as in the back. So you're gonna be able to absorb all the hits, and then you're gonna have, on this particular model, a carbon fiber frame. The bike itself is a little over 30 pounds, which is very light for this type of bike.
Ballpark figure if I wanted to walk into the store and say, give me this sexy bike.
There's a lot of different models, but the high-end, like this bike, are in the $10,000, $12,000 range.
So the way the Rampage works here is each rider gets 2 chances to prove themselves on the run. Now, say you have a really sick run, high score, you don't have to go again unless you want to try to top yourself, but that could lead to injury. A lot of these guys, they're just out to have a good time riding and show the spectators what they're made out of.
The stage is now set for the final run of the day, and will determine who the winner is.
So right now, Kurt Sorge is in first with an 86.75. Now, last run of the day, though, is by Cam McCall. Now, if Cam clinches it, he can knock Kurt out, but 86.75, I mean, seriously, I haven't seen anybody come close yet, but there's always luck.
Now, Cameron McCall laid down some sick tracks, but it wasn't enough to dethrone Kurt Sorge, who posted a high score of 86.75 and is the Red Bull Rampage's champion of 2012.
How'd you feel about the 86.75?
Yeah, to, step it up my second run, I was pretty happy just to, make a clean run, not only, it was for myself, it's the line I had in my mind, and to make it happen, it's pretty sick.
Now, they say that Red Bull gives you wings, but after seeing what these guys put on the line today to win the Red Bull Rampage, I would say it gives you balls. Big steel balls. Now I gotta go find the after party. I think they said it's that way. Nice. Oh! Gonna feel that one tomorrow.
Thanks, Weston. The Red Bull Signature Series premieres on NBC Saturday, December 8th at 2 p.m. Eastern. But right now, it's time to start the feed.
All the news you need to know. Feed.
I'm Sarah Underwood, and here are your top stories. Apple CEO Tim Cook has announced that beginning next year, the company will exclusively manufacture one line of Mac products in the United States. Yes, this is a pretty big deal because, as we all know, the majority of Apple products are made outside the U.S. in countries like China. Now, Apple doesn't own any manufacturing facilities themselves, but instead will be investing over $100 million in an attempt to bring the production line back to American soil. So hopefully this is the start of a lot more jobs moving back into the country. Good job, Apple. Yeah! Oh, and by the way, for all you T-Mobile users, get excited because the iPhone is coming. Yeah, that's right. Apple finally agreed to bring their products to the nation's 4th largest network. The two companies will release more details soon, but all we know now is that the phone will be available to T-Mobile customers sometime next year. Yes. And earlier this week, we reported that The Hobbit's high frame rate was making people feel sick, but now it seems like that might not be true. Warner Brothers has released a statement saying that the source of the sickness rumor came from 2 anonymous tweets and that none of the thousands of critics and fans who've seen the film have had any complaints. But if you're worried, you can just go to one of the normal theaters showing it at the normal way. The Hobbits will just be just as hobbity, so. And for those looking to save money on their electric bill, you may want to listen to this. According to a new study, your cable box uses more power than any other appliance in your home. Even more
than your fridge or air conditioner. In 2012, cable boxes used nearly $3 billion worth of electricity, and most of that was used when no one was even watching TV. Apparently, this is because it's cheaper for cable companies to design set-top boxes that run at full power all the time, rather than invest money in models with a power-saving mode. But don't worry too much. If you want to save money, the consumerist points out that an easy way to cut down on your electricity usage is to plug your TV and cable box into a power strip that you then can turn off when it's not in use. And finally, get ready to have your mind blown. You might have already seen today's teaser trailer for Star Trek Into Darkness, but here's the Japanese version with some very special extra footage. Check it out.
You think your world is safe. It is an illusion. A comforting lie told to protect you. Enjoy these final moments of peace. For I have returned to have my vengeance. So, shall we begin? Is there anything you would not do for your family?
Star Trek Into Darkness will be in theaters May 17th. I am Sarah Underwood, and you've just been fed. Stay tuned, comedian Scott Aukerman will be here
Joining me now is the host of Comedy Bang Bang on IFC and the star of his podcast of the same name. Here's Scott Aukerman, everybody.
Hello, America, and all the ships at sea.
Yeah. This is it. Michael. This is it. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good morning, yes.
Yes.
I'm going to do sort of what that guy was doing.
You're going
to turn away from you.
You're not going to commit to me? I know.
Exactly.
I thought
that makes you feel comfortable, doesn't it?
Would it be more comfortable if we did the interview this way?
I think so. I liked how he was also saying, like, you understand that, don't you? It's like a cult,
yes.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I kind of felt like...
You understand how it's like a cult, right?
Yeah, it's like... I was feeling a little bit like, and let's take the time with Scott to analyze our last host, interview.
Let's not talk about me.
I was feeling like he was trying to get me on board, and some of the stuff I think makes sense, some of the stuff to me doesn't. Hey, forget about that.
I think the harmonica lessons are what doesn't make sense out of everything.
I've always wanted to play the harmonica, and I've never been able to do it. Never been able to do it. Do you play any instruments?
Yeah, you pick up a harmonica, you go, whoo.
That's how you do it.
It's that simple.
So you answer my question. Yes, you do play an instrument. You're very good at it. You have this amazing podcast.
Thank you so much.
And you're welcome so much. Comedy Bang Bang. But not only just a podcast, well, you have the podcast, but then you also are on earwolf.com, which is like this whole
podcast network.
This network that you've also created.
We produce a lot of shows. We do a show where, for instance, comedian Brian Posehn plays Dungeons and Dragons with his friends. Okay. That just came out this week.
Okay.
Called Nerd Poker. We have Paul Scheer, a former host of this show, guest host of this show. He has a show called How Did This Get Made, where he dissects terrible movies.
Sure.
So we do a lot of different shows, earwolf.com. Yeah.
But wouldn't that be difficult with Paul's show because you actually have to go watch that terrible movie?
He loves it.
Okay,
that's a Saturday for him, watching terrible movies.
Is the podcast market too crowded now? I'm a comedian. I don't
get out of it.
Okay, and I don't have
need the competition.
I don't have one, but every great comic I'm meeting now has one. And is it too late, or is it just so saturated now? What will you?
No, I mean it's a lot like saying, is it too late to create a new TV show?
Right.
There's so many cable stations. No, I mean I think you know, the Nerd Poker show that I just mentioned, we just released it this week, and it's huge. So
cool.
I think you know, it's it's never too late to do some. I would say don't get into it if you're just getting into it to be trendy or popular. But
Sure.
if you want to do a show, yeah, come talk to me.
And what are the rules of a good podcast and a bad podcast?
I think a good podcast, the great thing about podcasts is you can do whatever you want on it.
Sure.
So it's not like, you know, a lot of comedians have been kind of stymied by, they can't get TV shows on the air because they, you know, there's all these people in power saying, well, you have to change your sensibility.
Sure.
And if you were to start a podcast, I think, you know, you should just do whatever you find funny. I would suggest like a hook around it maybe,
Right.
but, you know, like the nerd poker playing D&D, but, you know, your sense of humor should shine through.
Comedian learning to play harmonica.
I'm, you know, I don't know. By the way, what is happening with this show? I was told before I came out not to show my ball sack by legal, and now it's all I want to do.
Hey, it's been an amazing week this week.
What a long, strange trip it's been.
What a long, strange trip it's been. And I've been hosting with these great comedians, which this is like a dream for me. I get to tell jokes, hang out with an audience that is basically forced to laugh whenever I hit a punchline. And then I get to talk to these brains of comedy, and but we've had some crazy moments, and I'm so excited that I don't think that's going to happen here today.
You don't know.
Anyways,
I have itchy fingers.
Okay, careful. What is alternative comedy? And this is a question. And is Comedy Bang Bang alternative comedy?
Well, for instance, what type of comedy do you do? How would you describe your act?
I do comedy.
Yeah, it's the opposite of that.
Okay.
It's,
I don't. We were talking. I don't know if alt comedy is really a thing anymore.
I don't know. I mean, serious answer is I think it is what was a term that was describing comedy in alternative venues, i.e. basements, bookstores, bars. I think it's just a style that's grown over the years, and it's sort of, comedy is comedy. I mean, if you were to listen to my show, a lot of people would say it's the alternative to funny, but it's, you know, it's, I think just every comedian has their own voice, and there's a lot of bleed, you know what I mean? I want to get you into the alternative scene.
Well, that would be great. I would appreciate that.
I want to grandfather you in.
I mean, I feel like I played sports in college.
No, okay.
Does that matter? I'm out. Yeah, okay, I'm out. Okay. I mean, isn't funny if you're laughing?
I don't know.
You don't know if it is. Okay.
Yeah, there's got to be something better out there. Okay. There's got to be something funnier than comedy.
I mean, you produce these live shows, these Comedy Bang Bang live shows, very successfully for 10 years.
Thank you. I just had my last show this week.
But that's what I mean. It's the last show.
Yeah.
Why?
We had a big fundraiser for the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank this week, where we had a great show with John Hamm and David Cross and you know, so many great people. It was a 4-hour show, and all the proceeds went to the LA Food Bank. And you know, I said, let's go out on top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And were you just tired of producing a live show?
It can be tired. I think it was, or tiring. I thought it was interesting that even during the very last show, a huge benefit, I was still dealing with dropouts and the minutia of organizing the show. So, you know, I did it for 10 years. I didn't expect it to do it much longer than one.
Right.
And I did it for 10 years. And I think, you know, I mean, there's other, you've done the Meltdown show around town. These are all alternative references.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's a show
Los
at a comic book shop in LA. It's so great. Yeah.
The minute you walked in there, did they say sports?
Yeah, they got mad at me, and they put a big sports on my head. Tell us this Analyze Fish.
Yes.
Comedian Harris Whittles tried to convince you that Fish is a great band.
That's one of the podcasts on my network, Analyze Fish.
Okay.
Harris Whittles is a writer for Parks and Rec, and he was telling me once that he liked the band Fish, which I find absurd. So we thought it was a good idea to make a whole podcast where he plays me Fish songs and tries to convince me to like them.
Okay.
This led to our 4th episode, where I made a deal with him where I would go anywhere in the world, actually more continental 48,
world.
to go see Fish wherever they were playing next. I would take whatever drug he wanted me to take in order to enjoy it.
I think that would help, yeah.
And then I would see if I liked it or not after getting the full experience. So you can hear, I taped a podcast while I was watching the show.
Oh my gosh.
And you can hear this is our 4th episode, and I ended up taking a little bit of ecstasy at the top.
Okay.
It did not work on me, I think. So I said, then I took mushrooms, moon rocks, which is a different form of ecstasy, pot, vodka, beer, and Jack Daniels. People kept just giving me stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, and that, by the way, that's how comedians die.
Right.
You know, like I know the those stories. But I just got very partially high. At one point, you can hear me on the show say, this is fun.
That was it.
Which I don't think I would say normally.
So
if I wasn't high.
you didn't become a big fish fan after that, but
You can find out the climactic
Okay,
answer at the end of the episode whether I like fish or not. Yeah.
we have to say thanks to Scott Aukerman.
I have to say thanks to
Well,
you.
they don't have to, but thank you, Scott. You can hear Scott's podcast at earwolf.com and visit the store section to buy Comedy Bang Bang's complete Christmas collection.
It's a
which is on-
download, actually. It's not on C-D.
Yeah, I don't know what C-D is. All proceeds will be donated to the L-A Regional Food Bank. Stick around. There's more Attack after this. Thanks, man. Thanks.
On the next Attack of the Show,
Alex Albrecht will be here as co-host. Plus, Chris Gore is here to rate The Bourne Legacy and Seth MacFarlane's Ted on DVD Tuesday. Also, Matt Meyer gets his hands on Google's latest tablet, the Nexus 10 on Gadget Prime. And Weston Scott heads to Tennessee to check out the Jack Daniels distillery. How does he keep getting those assignments?
it's on the next Attack of the Show.
Welcome to Jeremy's Dragon Table, the most awesome show on television, where all we do is talk about how great dragons are. Tonight's topic, Dragon Con. They call it Dragon Con, but there are very few dragons there. What gives? Searclaw. Why weren't you there?
Dude, tickets to Atlanta were expensive.
You know, if you had actual dragon wings, you could fly there faster than the speed of light and actually travel back in time or something.
But, I mean...
That's right, you can't, because you're a guy in a dragon costume, Brent.
You know, Atlanta has a great zoo. They have a panda cam, and the world of reptiles is exhilarating.
I think it's time we got a female perspective, okay? From the gorgeous girl with the dragon tattoo. Emma, what do you think of Dragon Con?
I don't know. It's like this thing with all these dragons and leather and stuff, you know? You know?
How the heck could you afford a ticket?
Hey, you don't know me, dragon guy.
I hope you had a chance to visit the world of reptiles.
Okay, shut up, Carol.
Yeah,
A hot girl is
sorry.
talking.
I'm hungry.
I know, baby. We're gonna order pizza soon. And in a refreshing change of pace, you've been pretty quiet, Glenn. I thought you go to Dragon Con like every year, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, what the hell, dude? Why do you keep going back if there are no dragons?
Because Dragon Con is filled with drunk, horny nerd chicks in skin-tight cosplay outfits. I mean, I get so much desperate lady tail. I'm like a sex spider at the Temple of Lolth, and I'm tag teaming all these hot drow.
Oh, now my mom's never gonna let me go to Dragon Con.
Oh man, believe me, there are a lot of fortitude checks, you know, and usually a couple acrobatics checks as well.
Glenn, nobody wants to hear about your disgusting sexual exploits.
I disagree.
Okay, final word. Dragon Con, yay or nay?
Nay.
Oh, yay.
I'll take that as a yay. Glenn?
A big, hot, sweaty, black, shiny, latex-covered, eight-legged yay!
Glenn. Gross.
With 3 furries watching.
Wow, there's a lot of flames. There's a lot
Now,
of
it is your
flames.
last day, Michael.
Yeah.
But where else can the kids find you?
I'm on YouTube.
Oh.
My series, Sports Costa Basement, brings you everything you might expect from a comedy series about sports set in my basement. I just interviewed Lance Armstrong's removed testicle. It was a good time.
Good for you. For more info, y'all should follow Michael Costa on Twitter. He's at Michael Costa.
So listen, here's the deal. You guys have been so nice to me. You've hired me 3 times. I've loved being here. Everyone is so nice. Your
You're so
show's
nice.
canceled.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to be a kind man, and what I did was I bought a bunch of whiskey to hand out to you guys. Because
Thank you. I don't have to tell you this. Thanks to
because
Scott Aukerman.
you need to